Hey everybody, welcome once again to the Novice to Legendary recap episodes, unofficially aka in case you missed it. So this past week we had quite the bit of dungeon delving. This is like the biggest dungeon we've ever been in. Uh, so found ourselves slowly making our way through these passages that were lined with these dwarven like not ruins, runes, like etched into the ground, which in this world means that it is enchanted with magic, and it turned out to be pretty nasty. Um, After working, we did work out how to take care of Shearsum's nakedness, thanks to some good sneaking around and searching by Alanon. Much, probably a bit to the chagrin of Zulid, but he'll get over it eventually. Um, and then as I said, we went into this hallway, and it's a lot of time deliberating, how to get past it, what those runes were, how to deal with these really nasty, bloated, explodey zombies. Uh, we it's actually like this session was loaded with some ideas that were actually pretty smart on the character's part, and some that weren't so smart, but they fit with the character's line of thought, and it's always so much fun to see it, even if the results scare the crap out of you. Um, Shearsum had this idea to try and apply some pressure to the runes by just throwing a coin out there, but it wound up with Beheshter throwing all of Shearsum's money because Beheshter had it. And when that didn't work, Jayag, our resident turtle, just ran out there, you know, jumped up above the runes, retracted into a shell, and then just plopped down. Um, he did pretty well on warding off the inevitable fright that happened, but the rest of us had a lot more trouble. There's actually parts of this hallway that a bunch of us can't go through. It's gonna be a lot of fun trying to make our way back out that way when all's said and done. But again, this was one of those things where it was like, it isn't the brightest decision, but it made sense for the character Jack to actually just keep triggering these things, and just as in Nick even said mid-session, Jag was just assuming that everybody was following behind him, but it wasn't the case. Um, Another thing that kind of caused some of us to do double takes was part of this enchantment that was on these runes caused us to be frozen up by our one by some of our deepest fears, which of course prevents us from actually trying to get anywhere near the those sigils that triggered it. Ooh, excuse me. It's been a long week. That's why this video is coming out now instead of earlier in the week. I usually do these on Wednesday, but work has been a complete bear. So yeah, life happens. Um, but anyways, so the DM was just going through and was like, here's what you're seeing, here's what you're seeing, here's what you're seeing, and some of us actually backtracked a bit. Alan Blair was even said, I don't think that would be quite scary enough. It'd be more like I'm actually seeing my everyone that I know and care about systematically being murdered in brutal ways. And I was just like, DM, what you said Shears him seeing isn't enough. It wouldn't be enough to really freeze him up. Uh, so I was just like, he's actually reliving the night his parents were murdered. And of course, Jack's player was just like, why are you guys making this harder for yourselves? Well, as much as we hate to do that in real life, sometimes we inevitably do it. these are stories we're telling as a group. So why not up the drama and up the stakes without actually trying to cause any real drama at the table? Harped on that plenty, I think. But this isn't a war game. There's no win conditions, so why not? Even if it kind of screws your character over, why not interject to the DM and make things a little more difficult with such things as frightening visions and whatnot? Because it's like your character. You'll generally know your character better than the DM will. So if something in the game is supposed to cause this kind of effect, you need to get back. You need to get to him as soon as right away about what would actually cause that effect for your character, even if it does make it harder for you. Because then when you triumph, it just makes the victory that much sweeter. And even if you don't, it still makes for a really good story. So there's that. So as we kept going, we actually had a fairly well executed plan at the end to clear out this room full of ghouls. Although it didn't, it was a good plan. Some of the dice rolls didn't work out quite so well, so now a room full of ghouls, kind of, and this crazy skeletal dog thing with like purple fire coming off of him or something like that. Uh, wouldn't be surprised if that's something that our DM pulled out of that freaking massive third-party monster manual he picked up. I mean, the thing's I've talked about that enough. It's huge. So those that's just something to think about. Is just if it fits more for your character, do it. Even if it does kind of screw your character over a little more. I know we can all be pretty precious protective of our characters. Sometimes a little too much. Maybe we could be touching on that in a future video. But no, this is a game. This is a story. So I guess if you feel comfortable with it, volunteer that kind of information or those kind of possibilities to make things a little more difficult. Or sometimes it might even work out to your benefit. Who knows? So that's just a quick little recap. We aren't going to be having any of the regular campaign going on for the next couple of weeks, just because of our DM's availability. He's actually going to be, in me and my brother's neck of the woods during the Thanksgiving break, and he's probably making his way back. So if we do have any like any one shots or whatever, I definitely talk about that. Maybe bring some other folks in as a recap of those, and yeah, there will be more content. It's just just life away from the channel is exhausting right now. So that's all I have for you today. So until next time, enjoy the journey and have fun. Bye.